Alright guys, so in today's video, I will be covering the new Southwest Florida update that just dropped last night. And there was like a bunch of new cars added, in total of 13 new cars, 8 remodels, and 5 totally new ones. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get into it. So if we go to our dealership here, you'll notice that there's no like new cars in the coupe section. But there's this new 14 Fiesta ST that was added. And by far, it's my favorite car in the new update, and it's one of the totally new cars. It's not a remodel, but they finally remodeled the Tahoe and the Expedition after a long wait, so that's a plus. And they also got the new RST Suburban, and over here they got no pickups, no supercars, unfortunately. No, they added a bunch of new classic cars. They added the 1987 BMW M3, 1970 Dodge Charger RT, and the 1990 Vauxhall slash, I think it's a Vauxhall Carlton or a Lotus Carlton. I'm not really entirely sure about that, but they also use the new SUVs involved with the new emergency services. For example, you got the Ford Expedition Fire Battalion, you got the Undercover Tahoe, and you got the Police Tahoe, the marked one. And there's no new vans or motorcycles. So yeah, that's the update cars. It's time to test them out. Oh, I forgot. If you go into the sedan section, you'll notice that there's also 2 new cars added. There's the remodeled Accord and the remodeled WRX STI. So yeah guys, let's test them out. Alright guys, so here's the new 1987 BMW M3, and it is by far one of the best looking BMWs in the game. I really like the spoiler. It just looks so realistic. I love the fact that it has dual exhaust on one side and it has one big muffler, and I generally like its boxy look. So yeah guys, let's just turn my sound on real quick. Let's hear the startup on this thing. Yeah guys, there's a startup. Let's rev. There's the rev. And now we're gonna do a launch test with traction on. Well, there's no traction on this thing. Well, there's no traction on the thing, so we can't do a proper launch, but otherwise it's just gonna be a really bad one. But otherwise, here we go. It's pretty fast. It takes up 17 gallons of fuel. It's a 5-speed automatic, I believe. God dang it, this sounds amazing. This is by far one of the best 80s BMWs of all time. It's gotta be on my top 5 favorite cars list. So yeah, it does about 145 miles an hour. Braking's garbage. It's like all like on all of the Southwest cars. But anyways, let's check out the next car, and I think this is probably my favorite one in the update. Alright, next up is the 1970 Dodge Charger RT. Just look at how menacing this thing looks. The idea that gets me is the black stripe, the red tail lights, and the front. All of it just looks so menacing. Like imagine you're like really like in a superhero movie and it's really dark outside, and you see one of these blacked out Chargers pull up, and it's scary. Alright, it's scary looking at this thing at night. But anyways, let's check the startup. There you go. There's the rev. Still has that classic 1970s V8. Alright, now let's launch her. That's a really good launch, and this thing's by far the fastest non like supercar-ish looking thing in the game. Like this is by far the fastest accelerating classic car, if I remember correctly. But it does about 135 miles an hour. Yeah, see, it's topping out at 133. And yeah, I'll check the braking. It can improve, but look at how good this looks. Like the tires, the front, the rear lights, just like everything gets me with the look of this car. It's just so amazing. Now let's move on to the next car. Alright, so our next car is a 1990 Vauxhall slash Lotus Omega slash Opel Omega slash Vauxhall Carlton. It's owned by 3 different companies, but yet shares the same body as like a 1980s Fox body Mustang. If you look at it closely, it looks like a Fox body. But anyways, this has a 3.5 liter 6. This is a 3 liter 6-cylinder Opel Cam head engine with producing 377 brake horsepower and has a top speed of nearly 180 miles an hour. But let's be the judge of that. Let's just test it. Let's test the startup on this thing. There we go. Now there's the rev. Sounds like a V6, am I right? But anyways, let's just like find a good spot. But dang, this thing's fast. This thing's actually really fast from the first time I tested it. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Does 60 in about 3 seconds. Okay, just hit 160, doing well. Oh, it's a 6-speed. Come on, can it do 175? Can it do 175? Can it do 175 before the curve? Yes! It did 178 for its speed record. And I just crashed trying to break this thing. So yeah, that's the overall specs of the Vauxhall Corsa. Now, the Carlton. Now let's move on to our next car. Okay, so this next car, a few of you might underestimate for being slow, since I just recently checked this thing and it only has around 200 horsepower. But this thing is underrated, alright? This is a 2014 Ford Fiesta ST, and it has a 6-cylinder. It is a 6-cylinder engine with producing about 200 horsepower, and I don't know much from that. But anyways, this thing is so great. Like, just listen to the startup on this thing. Sounds generic, but I'll give it a good one. I'll give it like a good score. But just listen to this rev. This thing is way too much underestimated. There we go. Now, a feature that I absolutely love about this car is that you could turn traction on and drift tires on, and look what it does. How was that for 200 horsepower? Alright, now I'm gonna try and find a good spot to like speed test this thing. Right, so here's the spot where we're gonna speed test it. 3, 2, 1, go. It appears to be a 5-speed. Struggles to reach 130 miles an hour, but I'll give it, like, it's a good car. This car is so great. I don't get why nobody bought this in the update. So yeah, it does around 131 miles an hour. Let's shut the braking. That's probably the best braking in the entirety of the update cars. But anyways, there's another hatchback that got remodeled after so many months of waiting. Guys, so you guessed it, the Mazda 3 hatchback finally got remodeled after many months of waiting for this car to get at least a speed update, because earlier it used to have a 1.8 liter engine. Now it has a 2.5 liter turbocharged inline 4, producing 196 horsepower, and just it generally looks way better now, because earlier it just looked so bland, and it still has the same sound from its earlier predecessor. It still has like a V6 sounding engine, but that doesn't change how good it looks. Like it's much faster now, because earlier like before the update, this didn't even reach 90 miles an hour. But now we're gonna test the speed and the startup sound. I think it's the same one from the earlier thing, before the update. So let's just check it out. Same startup, same rev too, but yeah, guys, let's test the speed on this thing. Yeah, you hear the turbocharger, right? $60 in like 6 seconds, not bad. Five-speed automatic. See, it actually passes 120 miles per hour, give or take. And this is free. This is a free car you could get just by starting to play Southwest Florida. This is like an automatic car that you get once you start playing, and including a remodeled Camry that's generally slower than this, because I tested it out and it's much slower than this. And yeah. It does 130 miles an hour. See, I told you it's faster than the older one. And it does 133, in fact. It's just braking. It's better braking than the Fiesta, and that's something to worry about, because this is probably the best braking car in the entire game. Let's move on to our next car. All right, so the next car is this 2018 Chevy Suburban RST, and it's huge. That's the one word to describe it. Huge. Just by the looks of it, it generally looks so good. But one way they could have made it more better is more detail on the grill here, and they could have added like a fictional Chevy logo that they made. But they decided to go with the basic model. But I really like it. I really like the basic model. They put a lot of effort into it, and that's what I really like about it, since it's a sister to the Tahoe that came out, the remodel Tahoe that came out. But yeah, this thing's just like a larger Tahoe. Just like looking at it, it's literally just a longer Tahoe. That's literally what it is. But anyways, let's test the startup on this thing. I think it's the same as the Tahoe. Yep, same startup. Let's check the rev. Same V8 as the Tahoe as well, but man, this thing takes up 30 gallons of gas. Well, 30 gallons of fuel, that is. The acceleration's pretty good, but that's not where the speed test starts. It actually starts at that light, which I'll get to right now. Alright, so this is where the speed test is going to be. 3, 2, 1, go. 8 seconds to 62 miles an hour. Six speed. I think it did 120 last time. But can it do 120 now? Yes, it can. 121, 122, 3, 124, 125. Can it do 125? Can it do 130 even? Can it do 130? Most of these cars have a top speed of 130 and above. Not really any of these are slow, which is what I love about the new update. So 129 miles per hour, that's decent. Let's check the braking. that braking took painfully long, but still, overall, I really like what they did with this car. But the only thing that I want them to add is like a little more detail on the grille, since there's not much detail. But anyways, guys, yeah, that's the Suburban. Let's move on to our next and final car, I think. Alright guys, so here's the final car I'm going to review for this update, and is the 2021 Subaru WRX STI. Now, this generally looks like I can't even put it into simple words, but the most I could give for it is like your starter sports car. It's generally a good car, and the specs is like I think it's a 2.5-liter horizontal 4-cylinder engine with a 6-speed manual, 0-60 in like 5 seconds, and has a 302 pound-feet of torque. If I remember correctly, somebody in the comments please correct me on the pound-feet of torque. I don't know anything about torque, but anyways, the wing gets me in terms of appearance, because it's like the one thing that mainly stands out, and it just overall shapes the car perfectly, including this hood scoop at the front. But anyways, guys, let's check the sounds on this thing. I think it's a remodeled sound, since the car got remodeled. Still generic. Let's check the horizontal 4 engine. Yep, it's a turbocharged one too. Alright, now let's check the launch. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh wow, I'm terribly wrong about the 60 time. It did it in like 3.4 seconds. Okay, it's pretty fast. 140 miles an hour. Alright. Can it do 150? Okay, it did 150. This is not a bad car. I would definitely take this as a daily. But can it do 160? Because it just reached 154.5 miles an hour. Can it do 160? Yes, it did do 160. Oh god. So, 163 miles per hour. That's not bad for a car that's only 36 grand in the dealership. But yeah, those are the overall car reviews. I generally didn't do a lot of cars, and I did most of them, but not all of them, since I knew it would take up a lot of time, and I kind of want to get to this video done. So anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you guys want to check out Southwest Florida, the link will be in the description, and also my Discord server will be in the link in the description. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more of my channel, then please like and subscribe, and comment your favorite car in the new Southwest Florida update. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.